Hey guys, what's going on? As promised in the last loader video, I'm gonna try to deal with Joseph again. Now, for those who don't know what's going on, this guy's main clutch has been stuck ever since June 2025. And that's the last time I managed to move the guy with the clutch pedal. Now, ever since then, the clutch has been just kind of seized on it. Now, it didn't really sit there for that long, maybe like a couple of months. So it's kind of surprising that the clutch managed to seize up so much in just a couple of months. Kind of makes no sense, but I don't know. We already did a bunch of things in order to hopefully get it released. I mean, we tried to get it going with the bony motor. It did not buckle. The clutch just kind of kept rolling with the machine, I guess. We even fired up gearbox number 1 over there in order to yank it, but you know, basically that did nothing. Well, apart from 4 nice holes in front of Joseph. Yeah, that guy did not manage to pull this guy whatsoever. It would not even drag. Basically, it acted like a stump. Yeah, it didn't move even. Yeah, very heavy dude. But you know, in this video we're gonna continue with the attempts, I guess. And luckily, thanks to the comments section in the last video, we have a lot more ideas to try. Now, we'll go over the details in the office, but basically, even if we go through all those ideas and it still doesn't want to buckle, then we'll definitely need to clean the tracks, right? I don't want that thing to seize up during the winter time. Luckily, we have like a very nice window at the moment. You know, the winter kind of came and then it's just left, and it's been like this for a couple of weeks now, which is actually good because I can actually finish all the washing chores and then back up the water supplies and stuff for the winter time. But yeah, even if we can't get this guy going after this video, then you know, by the way, I hope that we do. But even if we don't, then I'm definitely gonna wash the machine and basically park it, I guess. Joseph is gonna be a lawn ornament in the future. I'm gonna park it. Oh, right over there. You know, behind the forest, there's a nice little lake. I'm gonna park it inside the lake. May it drown in peace. But anyway, let's go to the office. Let's break down the details. Not this again. Maybe. I think I have like a total of 6 solutions that I want to try. So let's just in case put like 8 rows. That should work. I'm gonna try to sort the ideas out from easier to less lethal, I'm guessing would be the right term. Let's do the easier options first, and then we can do everything else. I think the last idea that I have will either unstick it or break the gearbox off the frame. So hopefully we'll never reach that idea. Yeah. Description of the event. And did it work or not? Boy, I hope some of these options fix the problem, because I don't want to do the last thing. But anyway, idea number 1 is heat. Now, something I kind of did on the last video, but not properly, I guess. Basically, we need to heat the guy up before we try to unstick anything. And the engine plus hot air. So we're gonna fire the guy up. I'm gonna let it run, I don't know, 30 minutes, hour, 2 weeks, whatever it takes for that guy to reach operating temperatures, I guess. And it does have thermostats in it, so it should eventually go there. but I'm also gonna heat it from the other side. I'm gonna put the Weber diesel heater through the gap, point the nozzle down into the bell housing, and I'm gonna pump hot air from the flywheel side. So the engine is gonna heat it from one side, the diesel heater is gonna heat it from the other side. So it's like cooking the meat on both ends, right? And once we achieve some heat somewhere, we're gonna try again. Gonna try to start the guy in 4th gear. Now, sadly, we won't actually be able to start the guy in fourth gear. The pony motor will just kind of stall or explode. You can't really start this guy in 4th gear like a lot of you guys said that I should do. It's just not gonna go. The gear ratios are just too insane. The pony motor won't be able to do it. But you know, for a little moment we have that inertia or shock which the pony motor will deliver to the main clutch. So maybe once we heat the things nicely up, it's gonna pop loose. Not guaranteed, but just maybe. Now, if that doesn't really do anything and kind of fails, then I did have an idea, which some of you suggested also. Basically, heat 2 would be the proper word for it, I guess. And the idea is that I'm gonna fill the bell housing about halfway with boiling water. I already fired up the sauna for that part, so the water is currently heating up and it's gonna reach boiling temperature in about a couple of hours. And then if we need, we can grab boiling water from the sauna, kind of dump it into the bell housing. I need to put like a cork under it as well, so it doesn't leak out. But once we have it filled halfway, I can pour in some soap, for example, and then just kind of let it run, kind of stir it up in the bell housing. Now that's probably something that's worth doing, maybe, even if it doesn't help to release the clutch. Well, even if it doesn't help to release the clutch, the soapy water will probably wash some of that diesel out of the bell housing, right? Because the walls and everything is currently covered in diesel, and that's most likely not good for the clutch material. Maybe that boiling water will do some cleaning action if it doesn't undo any of the clutch stuff. So I think we have nothing to lose with the heat 2 option, so we will also try that. Now, option number 3 in the list would be vibration. So the idea would be to cause some vibration in the flywheel itself. Now I can't visibly see the clutch or the pressure plate. I can't visibly see that stuff. There's no access to that area. I can only see the flywheel side. But we can try to hit the flywheel with something in order to cause some nice vibration. Actually, I do have a pretty decent hammer drill, so we can definitely use that to cause some vibration in the flywheel itself, and maybe that will break some of the rust free. Rust plus vibration, they actually don't mix together very well. So I think we may have a chance with that option. Now, if that doesn't work, we can always go with the 4th option, which would be vibration 2, I guess. Now, vibration 2 is kind of a sketchy option, but a lot of you did suggest that, and that would be undoing the pressure plate or flywheel bolts, either a little bit, or we'll try to figure out how long the bolts are themselves. So just kind of undo them, but don't fully undo them. That way we could get some pressure off the pressure plate, which is diverted on the clutch plate itself. And maybe then if we have those bolts undone to some degree, we could also vibrate the housing and try it again. Option number 5 and option number 6, both are kind of sketchy, but they were mentioned at least several times in the comments section, so I'm not really sure which one should go first. They're both very sketchy. I'm not really sure, honestly. But whatever, I'm just gonna yeah, basically some of you mentioned that I should make like a hole. Make like a hole in the bell housing so I should access the clutch plate. Jam like a little wedge between the pressure plate and the clutch plate in order to physically separate the two. Yeah, absolutely great idea, but I'm not really a fan of the hole part. So I'm not sure if that's like the best option to do. Oh, and by the way, according to Steve, this dozer has 2 clutch discs, not 1. So technically we would need to make like 2 holes. Luckily the 6th option is even more sketchier. Yeah. Basically, pretty easy. Turn the dozer around, face the blade against the bank, lift the front end up with the blade, lift the rear end up with the Ackerman, start the dozer in 4th gear, and then suddenly drop Joseph on the ground with the tracks spinning. Now what that is gonna do is gonna create like a massive shock on the whole system. Not just the clutch, but also the gearbox, the engine, everything. Dude, either the clutch brake is gonna release or something is gonna explode. Right? So like I said, I hope we don't ever reach to the 6th option. Because that's messed up. But yeah, I think that's about it. I went through the entire comment section, and these are the 6 options that most of you guys suggested to do. So let's print the paper and get to work. Let's get to work. Okay. I think the first thing I want to do is put like a little block under the housing. Oh, joy! Man. Even my mini scooter has better ground clearance than this crap. Ooh. Block of meat. Oh, our hole is there. If I remember correctly, that thing was M38. Yeah, about that, yeah. Now I did try to find like a block for that. The biggest I could find, actually the biggest Google would find for me was M36. And then I found a bunch of plastic blocks, which was M38. But those were not sold individually. I had to buy like 100 of them, like $500 or something like that. Not worth it, I think. I'm gonna make like a little wooden block here like I did last time. It doesn't really need to seal that much. Just want to make sure that hot air doesn't escape. Plus, maybe if we do the heat treatment then it's gonna prevent the water from leaking out. Now, about the hatch on the bottom here, some of you did mention that as well. We won't be able to access the clutch from that hatch. That's why I did not open it last time. But, you know, if we fail the first 2 options, then the 3rd vibration method, you know, opening up that hatch will actually benefit us, because we can also hammer the flywheel from the bottom, not just from the top. I think we have a bit better access from the bottom anyway. Man, things I do for love. Oh my goodness. Can't really do anything from there. I mean, can't see anything from there. So I can't even see the clutch discs. I'm guessing the clutch discs are in this metal block. The flywheel gear over there. Clutch discs inside this block, and then from there we are on the other side, the area which we can access. There's really like no place to even wedge something between, right? So it's all sealed off. You can't really do anything. I mean, I guess we can kind of, we don't need to make any holes inside the housing, obviously, because you can't really do anything if it's the same from up top. It's a sealed block of steel, and the clutch is inside of it, I guess. Look at that. Tapered fit. This is sort of like cave diving. Those are diving. Boy. Man, look at that. I couldn't sleep at all yesterday. No, I was thinking about how I'm gonna hook up this 6-inch banjo pipe to the dozer. I mean, how I'm gonna keep the weather levitated in air. Look at my work table. Dude, this is the main reason I bought the loader. If you did not know, by the way. In order to introduce marijuana to Joseph. This goes to show you guys, never think, always act on impulse. Never think. Because if you think, you can't fall asleep. If you're just in the bed there, thinking about what to do, good luck getting asleep. That's not gonna work. Just act on impulse. And considering the housing is pretty small overall, I think it's gonna heat up pretty fast. And I'm guessing it's gonna achieve like 40 degrees or something like that inside there. Good way to dry out the moisture as well. Okay. Took a little lunch break while this thing has been going. About 30 minutes now. Okay, so the block is currently at about 5. Ooh, 40 deal. That's 108 in superior units. Whoa. 64. It's actually pretty decent, yeah, about 60. That's pretty good. Now I'm gonna fire the dozer up and cook it from the other side as well. 60 degrees, actually, pretty good. I wasn't expecting that much heat. Let the guy idle for a while. It's gonna take a bit of time for that dude to warm up. Engine runs pretty good though. Got like some 800 odd hours on the thing only. Basically like a brand new engine. Something's up with the fuel supply though. Sometimes it's kind of splattering a bit. I'm not sure if you noticed that. Looks like it's not getting like a perfect mix or something like that. Usually it's more if it's cold, but once it gets warmer, the problem like disappears. 15 minutes and the engine has went up by 10 degrees. What? Maybe I can use the hydraulics to give some load on the engine. Seems to be running pretty smoothly now. And my guess is that there's probably like air bubbles in the fuel system after it has been sitting for a while. And you know, once those clear out, it's just gonna be smooth sailing. Seems pretty smooth at the moment. The only time I've actually managed to get the temperature up to about 80 is when I was pushing dirt behind the building. Only then the temperature got up to 80. I'm afraid that maybe it's not even gonna go up to operating temperature if it's just kind of idling on the spot there. Well, actually it's on a high idle at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna wait. No rush. Like half an hour, something like that. Music. I think the clicking noise is coming from the yellow lever arm part. That thing just seems to flop around a lot. Probably worn bushings or something like that. I'm gonna check how the witchcraft brew is cooking. Ooh. Dude, sauna is ready. Screw Joseph, man. Let's go to the sauna. That's like 82 at the moment. It appears that we have a pretty bad oil leak coming from somewhere. Not good. Dude, this guy has actually been very solid on the leak side. I haven't had any major leaks on this build. But something is clearly busted down there. We need to take a look at that. You know, about the temperature, you know, it was 56 before, right now it was 52, so it's not really going any higher. I can't really put any load on the engine as well. I have nowhere to drive, honestly. About 1 hour and 41 minutes so far. I think let's shut the thing down and try to take off in 4th gear. Everything's about 60 degrees at the moment inside the housing, I guess. Now I think without the diesel heater we wouldn't get those numbers, definitely with just the engine. So let's hope for the best. Holy hell, man, that thing is just stuck. Stalled the bony motor in 4th gear. I bet that guy is thinking something like, let me at it. I'm gonna unstick the clutch with my bucket. Something like that. But anyway, clearly option number A did not work. So you're gonna do a big fat X there. Heating the clutch disc back from one side with the diesel heater and from the other side with the engine did nothing. The SOB is still really seized. Let's go with heat number 2. I think the water is pretty much set now. Oh, before we go and do that, let's quickly check out what's the deal with that oil leak. Ma ütlesin sulle 24 või 27, noh. Ei, see on 27. Ei ole vaja midagi muud kaasa võtta, noh. Nüüd mine putsi lenda jälle kuhugi Tallinnasse ja osta kuradi 24. Pugeda iga kord, sellepärast sa unustad midagi maha või võtad vale asja või ma ei tea. Aju vaba. What? Dude, give me a break, I'm meditating here. Mis asi see lekib nii hullust? nothing is leaking, so I probably need to fix that, but might be coming from somewhere else though. I can't see at the moment. I think we need to just kind of start the thing up and confirm. I'm pretty sure it's coming from there 100%, but maybe there's also a secondary leak. Looks like that panel is leaking, yeah. So it's engine oil. Have to keep that in mind. I'm gonna take the panel off later. The gasket is probably bad now. The hotter the better. right side. At least that grab should clean out the diesel, right? Do another bit now. Surprisingly, the pony motor has been very cooperative today. Someone remind me in the comment section that I need to tell Super Sisters to bring more soap. And the steel is still about 50 degrees. Surprisingly not different from the Weber heater. Külm. Vittu, tassi seda vett mäest üles ja siis viska kõik siin maha. I'm gonna go pee and let that thing meditate for a bit. That was very good pee. Prostamoluno is working as intended. It's not actually leaking from the plug. Well, only a little bit. The plug is pretty solid. It's coming from the thing between the thing. Oh, it's actually coming from that plate. I guess not from the thing. I have a feeling though that we're gonna open up that plate anyway, then we can weld it shut later. Okay, Heat clearly doesn't work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not worth continuing with the heat solution. It's just not releasing. Maybe if we like put a gas torch inside the thing and heat everything up to like 400 degrees, maybe then. Probably gonna burn down. Nope. Well, at least we got rid of all that diesel in the bell housing. Pretty sure that soapy water cleaned everything up nicely. Next step is the vibration part, but I think I'm gonna skip the vibration part and go straight to vibration 2. Gonna undo the bolts around that giant wheel of death and kind of try to figure out that situation. I'm not really sure what to expect there, but once we do that, then try to vibrate the entire casing, I guess, the clutch housing. I'm gonna make my life a bit easier though. I'm gonna try to put some blocks under the tracks to raise the machine above ground a bit, because pretty sure I don't have any room to hammer drill down there. Block of wood. Best description. Huh? I was afraid of this, and I told myself before I drive, add fuel. Well, there is a little bit of fuel left, but you know, the fuel kind of came on this side, but the thing is on that side, so I told myself, yet I still did not do it. I don't get it. A typical moron. That's the word. Excellent news, guys. Pony motor basically screwed us over now. Yeah, the entire day it worked fine. Maybe it has something to do with the tilt of the machine. That's when everything kind of went to hell. No, I checked for spark, that's good. I checked for fuel, that's good. Must be a carburetor related problem. Oh, and there's a new glitch as well. The pony motor's starter motor, the electric motor, that stops at random intervals and then restarts. It just did that. I'm not sure if you missed that or not. So that's a new problem. That hasn't happened before. The starter just stops and then starts up again. Very good. I love new problems. But you know, screw this guy for now. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. I'm gonna go drain that water out of the system. It's actually, we do have pretty good access at the moment. Very good cork. Sketchy setup. But I'm gonna run that guy for about maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. Just wanna get that excessive, unnecessary moisture out of that housing now. Sadly, the water trick did not work. To be honest, it's actually good that it stalled like that. Accessing the bell housing is a bit easier right now, and with the butt being in the air like it is. Good Morgan. Dude, what an awkward position. Kinda nice. This is kind of like missionary position. So glad I'm not the bottom dude. And from here we can't really see. It's basically the same view from upstairs, but downward perspective. You have like a little hole though, which goes inside the flange. Oh man, it's very crusty inside that clutch housing. It's basically a bunch of Titanic parts there. Ooh, and there's even water down there. I think that's trapped. That's not good. No. Got in there somehow. It's very rusty in there. I think this part is either the pressure plate or one of the clutch discs. I can't get any deeper. Now we can see a spring. Oh, look at that. This is pure titanium in there. Very crusty. Very crusty situation. Oh, I'm also close to one of the springs. Very hard to make out anything, honestly. The one side has to be the pressure plate, right? Either one of those. I think it's the left one. If I could only get in that crack. Nowhere near the crack. What are those, rivets? Man, this is the Titanic. Can't really... I don't think I can really access any more areas. Now the bolts that I wanna undo are these things here. There should be, according to the book, there should be 12 of them total. And I think they're not really that long. Before I undo them though, I kind of remembered that I don't have the clutch engaged at the moment. The clutch pedal is up at the moment. I think it would be better if I have the clutch pedal pressed down before doing any undoing or hammering functions. If the vibration knocks it loose, then the clutch will release while the pedal is down, right? If the pedal is still up, then the pressure plate is still pushing on the clutch disc. It's like you're trying to vibrate against a spring. So I'm gonna try to get this thing going. Hopefully it will go. If we manage that, then let's recheck the footage. Let's see if anything's changed inside the clutch housing itself. What's that about? I feel like the engine wants to go, it's popping, but the starter motor just kind of quits and then starts again. Okay, I don't think it's the problem with the starter motor. I think something's up with the engine. Maybe the ignition is off. Maybe it's trying to light the fuel at the wrong time. Either something's up with the ignition or carburetor. 100%. Backfire also from the carburetor. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on. The ignition timing is off, courtesy of that backfire from the carburetor. But why, man? It was working fine yesterday. I really hate this pony motor. Okay, so the dead stop happens only if the left spark plug is connected up. Doesn't happen with the right spark plug. Now that's a nice explosion. Clearly misfiring, right? Timing is off for some reason. Not sure what happened. The fuel is lighted at the improper moment. Dude, this sucks. This is exactly what happened in the last video. I wanted to deal with the stupid clutch, but then the piece of shit pony motor exploded and didn't work anymore. Thus I had to spend like 85% of the video trying to figure that mess out. You know, which I finally did. Got the thing running, but never really ended up dealing with the clutch properly. Deja vu. Exactly the same situation. Wow, I hate that thing. I think we have to take the magneto off again and check what's going on there. Plus re-time everything afterwards. Why did it go off though? That's kind of weird. It was working fine, and then it didn't. So demotivating. This is so demotivating right now. Even more demotivating than this stupid ass weather. Clearly. Okay, so I'm gonna try something. Maybe we can get the clutch pedal down with the Pony Motors starter motor. I'm gonna undo the blocks to remove the compression. And maybe then through the Pony motor we can spin the diesel with the small electric motor in order to get the clutch pedal down. You can't physically push this clutch down. This is a hydraulic clutch and you need hydraulic pressure in order to push that thing down. Now if you try to push it down with like an excavator, you're just gonna break the linkages. It's not gonna work. Removing the spark plugs because we don't need any compression in this engine. It's like an extra brake, right? Gotta cover the wires up though, they can still fire. The really sucky thing is that we're in gear as well. So that's not really gonna help our gas. I need to get at least one gear out, but in order to do that, I need to press the clutch pedal down. Can't do it. Oh, and I also need to press that down. I don't think it's gonna work. Oh yeah, I also need to push this lever down. There's so many things to do at the same time. Kind of went down a little bit. I don't have enough speed, I think. Ei Johan, jyrate mahdollista. Putsi, sit mun vittu. Dude, if this thing starts, I'm literally gonna go jump off a bridge. You know, because technically I did nothing. Salute! You piece of shit. A word once given. Like basically I did something, but I didn't think like anything significant. Basically did like 4 things. Well, 5 if you count the retiming. But to the magneto itself I did clean the points, clean the contact between the carbon pin and the metal. That was pretty dirty. Then I added some oil to the spongy thing, like you guys told me. And the third thing was clearance, or the gap between the points. That was off, kinda. The book says that gap needs to be 35 millimeters between the pins. And that thing was, oh my, not 35 millimeters, 0.35 millimeters, sorry. But that thing was 0.6 millimeters, so basically it was like almost twice the size. But that's all I did. Oh, and the timing part as well. Yeah, redid the timing. Whatever, at least we got the thing down. You can see that the springs are compressed at the moment. They were a lot more out before, and the gap is just smaller. Yeah, I think that's one of the clutch discs. I think. I think that's the gap between the pressure plate and the clutch disc. Now up there are the springs, and once we release the pedal, this whole part goes down and closes that gap. So they're disengaged, but it's stuck. Or I'm not getting it. It sure looks like it though. Look at that gap. Perfect gap. Now if that's the case, then that means the other disc must be stuck, right? Not this one. If that's the right gap. I can't see the other disc from this viewpoint though. I think it's on the other side. That sure looks clutch material, right? Sure does look like it. I don't know. Maybe there's something more wrong with this thing. And it's not the clutch, it's not the stock clutch disc. And one thing I noticed that there's like some type of a gear engagement going on over here. Okay, see? Maybe that that thing doesn't need to be engaged when the pedal is down. Not really sure about that situation. Whatever. Let's open up one of the bolts. See how long it is. And maybe take them all out. Well, actually, I can take them out, then I'm screwed. Just kind of a little bit. Not very long. Actually, I'm gonna replace them with longer bolts. I think that's a bit safer. Hold the door, guys. So somehow I managed to get into the thing from the front end. Went through like a couple of tunnels basically. But yeah, now we're on the other side. And the gear thing, which I showed before, is on the other side. We should see the other clutch disc from here. But I can't see anything. Oh man. No. It took me forever to get in there. Because I'm pretty sure that's clutch material down there, and there's a visible gap. Even looks like clutch material. But you know, maybe that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna still take all the bolts out, replace them with longer bolts, and then vibrate the housing. Maybe that will loosen something up. Worth a try, right? You guys tell me when you see the next bolts. Send me a raven. We're there? Okay. Stupid raven, too soon. You were supposed to circle. Something's moving. Yeah. Maybe I should add like a safety bolt on each corner just in case. Maybe there's a lot of pressure on this plate, and once I remove the final nut, this plate is just gonna fly that way. The long bolts are gonna catch it, but maybe I won't be able to like put it back. So that may be a problem that I don't want to do. So just in case, I'm gonna add at least one bolt back of the original, but I'm not gonna drill it in that much. What am I tripping? Hard to turn that part because the clutch brake is on. It's like trying to turn a wheel while holding the brake pedal down. Stop bending my bolts. Okay, now what? Where's my TNT? Dude, the clutch disc is not seized. Look at that. That's clutch material 100%, and there's a gap. You can dude, there's like 20mm gap at the moment. The pressure plate moved away from the clutch disc. They are not even touching. Yeah, basically on the bottom right corner you can see the clutch disc, kind of rusty, but it's clearly away from the pressure plate. At least one of the discs. I'm still unable to locate the other disc where that guy is at. I'm gonna keep trying. This tool is extremely useful at the moment, by the way. Whoever sent me this one for free, but I think it cost like $100 only. I would definitely recommend one. Actually, I'm gonna put the link down in the description. Use that to get like some discount. If I forget about the link, by the way, just remind me. I forget about a lot of things. Oh, there we go. There we go, guys, confirmed. Stuck clutch. No gap in that one. The first clutch doesn't have a gap. The other one is stuck. It's the one closer to the engine. Yeah, look at that, no gap whatsoever. At least we confirmed it's a stuck clutch. Yes! What now? Man, it's on the other side. I can't freaking reach. Completely seized. You can see the gap between the two clutch pads. We need to get that unstuck somehow. I think let's try to vibrate the housing. I'm not sure where I'm gonna hammer against though. My weapon of choice. But first, I am gonna explore the possibility of maybe drilling a hole actually into the casing. Now from here we can see the two clutch plates. I believe they are that and that. Maybe mistaken, but the first one is not stuck. The second one is the one who's stuck. But I can't access it because it's inside the casing. So maybe if I do like a hole on the bottom of the casing, maybe then we can have access to that stuck plate. But I'm pretty sure that's gonna like unbalance the entire housing, right? If you do like a hole. I'm not sure how much that's gonna matter, but technically that's not good as well. I know. Basically, if it gets unstuck, this whole part needs to move that way as a single unit. And the clutch disc is right over there. There should be a gap there right now, but not. I'm gonna try to hammer it from the bottom a bit. oleks hea, kui saaks siitpoolt lüüa, noh teisele poole lööd, ei ole nagu tolku sellest. I think the drilling option is actually pretty feasible. I just don't know where to drill, you know. The disc is closed right now. I might just drill into the clutch material itself. Could do like a little test hole, I guess. Enough to get the camera inside. Okay, so I looked it up from the diagram, and the discs are actually fairly close to each other. The bolt is right over there, so basically if I make a hole right in front of that bolt, maybe we'll hit the jackpot. I mean, to compensate for the weight difference though, I can always like thread it and glue down like a threaded rod inside the hole, right? So I think we have really nothing to lose. Actually, I think the whole solution might be like the best option I have at the moment. I took a look upstairs, and the clutch plates are basically like this far apart from each other. And the steel block I have to drill through is about this much. It's like 70 millimeters. That's gonna be fun. But I'm not immediately gonna hit the asbestos clutch material once I go through. There's actually like a 10 millimeter gap between the disc material and the housing. But I'm not really 100% sure where the disc is. I know that it's kind of close to the wall, but it's not quite against the wall. So it would be great if I got the hole on a perfect spot so I could make the hole bigger and then like put a wedge in it, press the disc apart, you know. Just gonna hammer from here. You could hammer it from here and then you could press the discs apart. And later I could put like a threaded rod inside the hole, which will compensate from the weight difference, balance it basically. And in the future I could use that cork to get the stupid clutch unstuck again. It seems like a pretty solid plan, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything will go to hell though. You can't be through already, that makes no sense. That's only like 20 mil. And I'm gonna drill here forever. Ma ei saa aru, kas siin on mingi auk siis või? Yeah, I hit some type of a hole. I think it's a bolt hole. Looks like there's threads on there. Kind of amazing that I managed to hit like a freaking hole in a steel block. I think I can just safely keep drilling. Now there is a bolt on the flywheel side, roughly right where the hole is. Right over there, the white one. Yeah, further away you can see one more. I think I managed to hit that bolt hole. There's one right under the camera. I think I'm just gonna keep drilling at the moment. Look at that. It starts from there all the way over there. I know the 70mm steel block. I hope I hit the mark. Hallelujah! Look at that. Right at the freaking disc. Look at that, holy hell. That's the stock clutch disc. Right over there. Mean. And spans the tunnel boring machine. What the hell? Look how deep this thing is. Holy hell. I'm not 100% sure which side I should hammer though. Currently not. I think I should make the hole slightly bigger. Pretty sure I can't fit any wedges down there anyway. I'm gonna start off with 10, but I'm pretty sure I need to go bigger, like 16 minimal. Läksin läbi, mis aru. Actually, I'm not on the best spot. It would be best if I was roughly 2mm that way. Currently I'm right at where the clutch disc material is glued to the steel plate. But I should be on the other side where the stuckness is going on. I'm gonna try to drill slightly at an angle. Maybe I can get myself a bit further there. Luckily this is cast. It's easier to drill. Went somewhere. Yeah, not quite the right spot. Hell, I think that actually went to the right spot. Basically, I'm hammering the clutch disc away. This is not the best thing. Kuidas ma sealt sinna sain? Not good. Everything is getting destroyed. But I think it's working. Actually, I think it's working. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. That did not just happen. Kuradi keevituse seast tegid, ma ei saa aru. It moved. Oh yes. Cheap Ferra saved the day. Everyone else failed. Custom sizzle. I think we have a gap now. I mean, a clear gap has emerged right over there. So something has opened up. Maybe the clutch is free now. I'm not really sure. I did mess up the area though pretty badly. I'm not sure if I even want to show it. Basically, yeah, look at that. That's pretty messed up. Well, actually, there was like no way around it. I guess the clutch material is, well, if you hammer it, it's gonna break, right? So, actually, there is one option. There are different clutch discs glued to the steel plate, and after every while there's like a little gap between the two. It would have been perfect if I could have gotten that hole just right at the gap. Then I would have just wedged between the two steel plates, right? Right now I just kind of try to hammer my wedge between the asbestos clutch material and the steel plate. So obviously the clutch stuff broke for no reason. But technically speaking, I think the clutch is free at the moment. Maybe. Maybe. So at this point I believe the clutch is unstuck, courtesy of that crack over there. Sadly though, I can't confirm it upstairs. I can't get the camera into the area very well to see if there's like a crack on the up side as well. But from the bottom at least, looks like good 2 or 3 millimeters there. Yeah, I'm gonna bolt the thing back now, the flange to the pressure plate, push everything back, and then we can do a little test. However, I don't really like that I messed up the clutch material in that one spot where we hammered. There's like a hole there now, which is definitely not good. But maybe overall performance is not too bad. Maybe it doesn't matter. If it does, then we'll take the clutch out of this thing. No, actually we don't need to remove the gap for that part. Now Steve always told me that we need to remove the gap, but actually if you go to the book, follow the step-by-step instructions, you don't need to remove the gap. The clutch actually comes out from the bottom of the machine, and a couple of people mentioned it in the comment section as well. Basically, in order to remove this clutch, very easy. You need to unbolt that. This is like a half housing. There's bolts up there, go all the way around, unbolt those, then this whole part comes off, and from here on out you can access the rest of the clutch and the housing and everything. Basically everything comes out through this area, so nothing comes out from the top. The only reason there's a hole or a hatch on the top is for hoist reasons. So yeah, this hole, its only purpose basically is to hoist stuff in or hoist stuff out. You get like a chain going through the roof. I guess you remove that, then you have a hole there as well, and then you can hoist the heavy parts out. For example, the flange itself weighs about 95 kilograms. So you can't best wrench that thing in there by yourself. You need a hoist, and that's what the hole is for. Now of course you can take the gap off and then remove the upper housing, and then you can access the clutch that way as well. But that's like 10 times more work and not necessary. But hopefully that little hammer trick did the trick, and we don't need to do anything else. I'm gonna go try to get into that tunnel up front. You can only get into it at a specific location. There's like I have to go through a little hole, then I have to go through another little hole, but the two holes have to be like aligned with each other. And if I can get in there, then I can pretty much confirm if it's separated or not. There's that little bugger. Have to get in there and then turn 90 degrees. I think it's confirmed. We have a gap. Look at that. That was not there before. We have a gap there now. I think it's open. I think it's released. Not a fan of the clutch braking part though. Currently we have like small pieces of clutch material that are inside the clutch housing. They can't get out of that housing. They're just kind of dead there. Well, they're dead as well, but they're there, and they're just gonna keep spinning there indefinitely. Maybe that's gonna make some noise. I don't know. Maybe the clutch disc being like broken on one spot is gonna make the clutch weaker. Maybe it's gonna explode. I don't know. I know nothing, guys. I just do things and then scratch my head and say, what happened? Okay, so I'm gonna clean everything up, make sure I don't have any tools everywhere, and then let's drive to the store. I'm out of milk. I bet the pony motor is gonna be something like, oh, you got the clutch sorted out? Well, joke's on you, buddy. I refuse to start. What's up? Dude! Visibly the clutch is not stuck. Both discs, we have a gap, but it's still seized. It's not releasing. It has to be something else, right? I mean, the servo mechanism is working, the throwout bearing is pulling the entire thing forward when you press the pedal. So that's working. I don't think it's a clutch problem. You know, dropping it from orbit is not gonna help also if it's not a stuck disc issue. I mean, we're just gonna break something, right? Snap a shaft in half or break the gearbox or something like that. So that's probably not a good idea at this point. I'm gonna go try to spy in there with the camera, see what the discs are doing. Maybe they... You know, I did release the clutch pedal up before I started the engine. Maybe it seized at that point. First disc is not seized, 100%. Clear gap over there. I'm gonna try to access the second one as well. And we have a gap there as well. But I can't really tell from the video, but it looks like from the bottom it's closed, but from the top it's not closed. What? Visible crack there. But it looks like, yeah, if you go like further down, it seems to close up maybe. I'm not sure, I can't tell from the camera very well. Technically I have nothing to lose, right? I believe we have reached the end of the line. The final mission. Dude, I am screwing that clutch disc up beyond. There is definitely not gonna be anything left of that guy. And it's already pretty mangled. If this doesn't undo it, then I don't know. I'm gonna quit. I don't wanna push that wedge in there too much because I'm pretty sure it's gonna get stuck and I can't get it out anymore. How to destroy a clutch disc. The long version. Yep. Basically, that did not work at all. Hey, at least we screwed out the clutch disc pretty well. So at least something. Now we have to take it out. And my theory currently is we got the flange thing up front, or maybe it's also known as a clutch cover. So with the rocker arms and things and shaft and brake. Or maybe on this tractor this part is the pressure plate. I'm not really sure. But behind it is the clutch disc. We also have some type of a floater plate. And then there's another set of discs. Then we have like a giant steel block, and we have the same deal there as well. Clutch, floater plate, and clutch. I basically created like a giant hole in this location somewhere, but that's not the point. Beyond this, we have the flywheel thing. And I think that's about it. There's a bunch of more parts technically inside and outside and everywhere, but those are the main components of the system, I would say. Now I confirmed that there's a gap here and there's a gap there between the discs, but currently I'm not sure, do we also need to have a gap there and there? I am unsure about that. I don't think so, but I don't know. What I can tell you is that we definitely have like a small gap here, but we don't have a gap there. So this part is still locked up. And maybe this is the last thing that's holding the clutch down. That's my theory at the moment. Sadly though, I cannot access that area. I would need to make another hole. Basically, I made the hole here, but then I would need to make like another hole there, and I am not doing that anymore. Basically, I'm just kind of screwing up the entire clutch housing by making these holes, and that's never good. I'm gonna try one more thing. Basically, I'm gonna undo the flange again, and I'm gonna replace the bolts, the original bolts, with the same longer bolts I used before, but this time I'm gonna add like a nut there, so I could bring the flange out even further. And later, if I want to put the flange back, but the original bolts are not long enough, then I can use the nuts to push the flange back. Currently, I'm thinking that maybe everything I did up front, everything we did downstairs, with the hammering and drilling and stuff, complete BS. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I did surf the book a bit, and it describes the two different clutch discs as one being driven and the other being driving clutch. Obviously, I had no idea what that means, so I googled it. Google AI says that the driven clutch is the primary clutch, and it's basically like bolted to the flywheel, and its job is to transfer power from one clutch to another. I'm not sure if that also applies to this Bulldozer though. Maybe it's different on this thing, but if that's the case, then everything we did downstairs was complete nonsense. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, I'm gonna undo the flange again. Try to get some better access to the driving clutch. Such fun. I think we don't need to put like all the bolts in. Maybe like 2 is fine on each thing. Save a bit of time that way. Actually, I think it's the first clutch disc which is stuck on the other side. Now, this is the gap between the two pads. There's the floater plate in the middle, and yeah, it's stuck to the plate on the bottom there. There's no cap on that area. I think that maybe that's the issue. Access to it is basically non-existent. That's the clutch disc, but it appears that this one is stuck on the other side. I think I can pull the flange much further this way. It's kind of gonna hit that other steel piece, and then it's not gonna come anymore, I believe. But I can still turn it a bit more. Basically, I pulled the flange so much out that I'm guessing these are some type of guide bolts. They're not even engaging the thing anymore. Hopefully it's not going to be a problem putting that back. I think that's the maximum it will come out. Yeah, that blade has contact with the other blade now. This is the maximum I can pull it out without disassembling anything. No, it's moving. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but look at that. The disc is moving. See guys, that thing is loose, it's not even stuck. Look at that. That's loose. What? It came completely loose. Is that normal? Maybe it broke something now. This is not good. Yeah, I'm gonna spin the thing around. I think there's like a couple of more notches like this on the steel block part. Try to move it from the other side as well. Maybe that was the problem. Let's move so much here. Look at that. I mean, this thing is about to exit the situation. What? Wait, what? Okay, it's not quite what I expected. You guys remember the part which we were hammering before, right? Well, this is the second disc. This is what we were hammering before. But no, it did not separate from the other side. It's just kind of moved with the entire steel block. I think that's the rust line still. That's where you can see a bit better now. The first disc is over there. There's the second disc. I think that's still stuck. Läks tagasi. Just lightly dab that. Something happened. Whoa! There was a blocks. Look at that. The clutch disc. It's fully free now. I think that was the problem. Yeah, well, I've been saying that a lot during this video, but I truly think that was the problem. Holy hell. Well, I guess I'm gonna pack everything together and do another test. At least the first clutch disc is like fully released, 100%. It's kind of wobbling back and forth. Plus, when I hit it with a hammer, there was like a hearable blop something popped loose. I'm kind of dropping in here for a moment. I wanted to mention one thing. And while I've been reassembling this thing, I noticed a mild change. You know, turning that part is much easier now. And before I had to like go full force. Right now. Turns a lot easier. Okay. So I think we have like 3 possible options at the moment. It's either gonna work, not work, or something's gonna explode. My money is on the explodey part. Bunch of angry metal noises, plus sparks. I mean, everyone loves that stuff, right? Fingers crossed for the explodey part. I'm gonna put my safety helmet on just in case. Look what the cat is dragging. And the alpha dog is back. What the? Yeah, la banga. It's actually working. I'm not really sure what to take away from this, honestly. And for starters, the yard is screwed again. I don't know. Looks like an asteroid impact or something like that. 5 minutes with that dude. Screws everything up. But about the clutch. Seems to work. Although I think what we just did is not like a permanent solution, and we still need to take that clutch out. I think there's no way around it. That thing needs some service. Need to disassemble it completely. But what do you think about the things I did? Meaning about the hammering part. Well, okay, so if I did not hammer the other side open, then I could have not possibly pulled this side towards the gearbox. Correct? The flange would not move any further, so I did not have any access from the front end. Because I hammered the other side open, the whole thing moved forward, and then I was able to slightly tap the first clutch, or pop the thing loose, basically. So I think everything kind of went well, apart from the first clutch, which has like a giant hole in it now. But other than that, I think everything kind of went well. And I have to keep this in mind. You know, the Bulldozer has like a clutch lock function, like a little lever over there which you flip, and then the pedal will stay locked down. So I have to do that every time I park the machine. Then there's no pressure on the clutch discs, right? They're just kind of there. I'm 100% sure it's gonna seize up again if I don't do that. And then we're gonna avoid everything we went through at the moment. Come fix up this mess. You're the fixer. The screw upper is over there. But you know, anyway, I think it was worth it, hammering from the bottom and then physically tapping it from the top. I mean, clearly we have results, right? The clutch is free now, but I'm not sure if I attacked it the right way. Maybe could have skipped the entire nonsense I did in the first half of the video. Then again, I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of comments about this. But anyway, the clutch situation basically has ended now. However, I'm not gonna finish the video just yet. I still have a couple of things that I promised to do. Now, if you were only here for the clutch part, then goodbye. But you know, we're gonna keep going for a bit longer here. We gotta patch up that oil leak, definitely. Then we gotta go fire up the lawnmower. Yeah, gotta trim that down, most definitely. Hatches, gotta seal those, probably with silicone, just gonna make sure no water gets in there. And the right side steering clutch. Okay, so that's a kind of a headache on its own. And right now, while I was messing around, guy clearly has some anger issues. Should seek a therapist. But you know, while I was messing around there, the right side steering clutch did not function. I could only turn left. The right did nothing. I think it basically just needs a little bit of heat. And I need to adjust the brake band on the clutch itself. That thing is too loose at the moment, so gotta do that. But you know, let's do the easier stuff first. Oil leak, then everything else. Dude, look at that access. Wow, it's amazing. Bunch of crap in the way.
Maybe it's just not tightened down. Yeah, that's pretty tight.
What? Where are these from? Oh, whatever. 3 bolts. Anything else? Stupid washer. Give me my bolt back. Look at that. This thing is pretty handy. Holy hell. Dude. Look at that hydraulic hose down there. That thing is about to pop. Holy hell. What is that, duct tape? Okay, well, I'm just gonna pretend I did not see that. Is this a pressure line? Yeah, this is the pressure line. Shit. I think it's fine. Kus siin kütust lekib, ma ei saa aru. Munn oled, mis näpud sul otsas on, ma ei saa aru, noh. Ma saan aru, et mutter lendab siin alla, aga sa lihtsalt viskad selle kuradi narre sinna alla. Mis asi siin lekib, ma ei saa üldse aru, kus see leke tuleb. Pumba alt või suure pumba alt või? Tuleb nagu siit pumba alt kuskilt. Ei siit tule. Ja, et läbi siit. Ma kasvab siit meil laga läbi raamised. Või siis kuradi. Kopsi koodi lahti. Taga tegema. Ai, siit üle. Something's leaking over here. It's diesel. Try to fix one problem. But while fixing that problem, you discover like 10 new problems. I think it's that one. Täitsa putt. Hopefully that'll fix that. Yeah, I should probably quickly sell this machine. And patch up the oil leak and sell the machine. It'll be like prime condition, brand new clutch and all. Plus I fixed all the oil leaks. But you know, that would be kinda mean. Also unjust. Pretty sure I'm going to hell, but maybe I'm gonna end up in hell's jail if I do that. Looks like the fuel leak has stopped. More good news. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it just kind of clicked to me. I'm gonna get the panel out. What? I need to undo everything downstairs. Good old asbestos gasket. Just holding it down like a glue. guys wanna see inside Joseph's belly? I am unsure how much you can see. Try upstairs. Holy hell. Look at that crankcase. The size of that rod. Looks like a locomotive rod. That's huge. Man. You're surprised why the stupid gasket failed though. Usually asbestos gaskets don't fail that easily. It's gonna be extremely fun cleaning that up. Stupid access is non-existent. Yeah, kind of weird. It's usually a very good gasket material. It will last technically forever. But you know, if it stays on for too long, then it kind of like turns into glue or something like that. It's very hard to get off. Cast making is so fun. When you get to hit stuff with a hammer, I mean, what else do you want? That's always the best part. I want to bet that by the time we get around installing this thing, none of the freaking holes will match. It's probably the worst part. Oi jumal küll, mina ei tea, kuidas ma peaks seda veel puhastama. Okay, that was pretty horrible. That smell never gets old. It's just so good. Hopefully it's not poisonous. Basically, if you're wondering about this stuff, then technically it's like sealant. Yeah, this is what it says on the box, but basically it's like a slow drying aviation sealant. You can use it to make gaskets, or seals rather. You can use it to glue gaskets down, and well, I can say it for a fact that it smells really good. I guess it also seals pretty good. It takes a bit of time before this thing actually cures, so it will give us like a nice time window to install it. So it's a very slow drying sealant. But you know, eventually it will dry up, and it will be basically something like that. Kind of hard. But you can still clean it up, you can still remove it. It's not like stuck there forever. Aviation gasket cement. So it's pretty good. Better not drop this in dirt. Maybe I can see. Stupid air. Why is it built that the wrong way? Oh, hi. Kurjau. Oh joy, can't see anything. Well, that's weird. I was pretty sure the holes are not gonna match. Actually, guys, I'm really thankful that the weather decided to like get warmer. Just imagine doing this type of work with -10. That's horrible. I would just quit. Not worth it. Wow. Everything matched up. Dude, that makes no sense. Hopefully that will seal that deal. And hopefully no one noticed the leak on the other panel, because I sure didn't. Let's go wrap up the business in the cab now. And hopefully we'll never have to go in there again. Fingers crossed. Normally I don't use this stuff, but you know, for applications like this, perfect. Much easier than building a gasket. Takes a lot less time. On ruutu või? Mina ei tea. No ei ole ruutne. What? Where did my socket go? Dude, what? My socket disappeared. Where did it go? What is going on? Kuradi lillaraisk, mida sa seal teed? Socket the magician. So guys, this crap doesn't even see if you bolt the thing down. You can still see it's pushing bubbles. It's like an extra bolt there, I would say. But hopefully the silicone will do the job. Sada aastat seda peale panna. Oh, there. Spilled a bit of water in there. I noticed. Should clean that up before winter time. There is no trash can. And luckily there's like no gearbox parts under this lead. There's just like a lever which goes to the gearbox. It's just like a actuator for something that's further away. But yeah, still don't need any. Technically I need like a new boot here, definitely. I'm gonna go look, maybe I have something, but I don't think so. I only found this thing, but it's not gonna seal anything. We can put it in. Yeah, this thing is not that important here. I mean, it just makes the dozer turn. Yeah, it's not big enough. Damn. I was kind of hoping. Hey, I think this hack job will postpone the retirement. Definitely better than a couple of holes. I'm gonna try to find the right thing, but right now I'm gonna put that thing there. I'm pretty sure I can find the right thing though. I just need to find something that will fit. Right now though, that will work as well. On ju auk olemas, mida sa nussid? Anyway, I've been kind of thinking, should I wash it first or do the steering thing first? If I wash it right now and then do the steering thing, I need to go take a little ride. That's gonna mess everything up again. So I should probably wash it later, right? Right? Yeah, I think so. Let's do the steering thing now. I'm making seal for this panel is very important. This is the main problem actually. Rainwater will just kind of seep into the steering clutch housing, and well, apparently a stuck steering clutch is a lot worse than the main clutch, and you don't want that to happen. Last year I had the same issue on the other side, and if I recall, I built like a gasket for that one, or maybe just silicone, and that thing has worked superb. It works actually very well. No issues with that side at the moment. Hack 2, hack 2, hack 2. Maybe I should have bought those hack 2 coins. Would have been a millionaire. Maybe even a billionaire. And look at all that moisture inside there. Dude, I don't think you can get rid of that even if you seal this up properly. And the steel itself, it kind of sweats a lot inside there. So you can't really do anything about that, I would say. Look how rusty that steering clutch is. Holy hell. Now if this got stuck, then we're all screwed. That's right. You, me, the entire world, and even the aliens. Now, is this thing stuck already? And what the hell? I haven't even... Oh, never mind. I thought it was stuck. Maybe it is stuck. Oh, it's not stuck. Yeah. Maybe that's too light. I'm not sure what tension level will work. You just have to try out and error this. Let's try with that. looks much better now. Wow. Good job, guy. I'm kind of heating up the steering clutch. Maybe that will release it. It did brake for a split moment, like somewhere here. I noticed the right track lock up, but it was for a very brief moment only. So maybe it's not that bad. Enjoy the asbestos smoke. It's so godly. The Bulldozer turned that way. Very good. a review from the Ackerman, brought to you by Unspans. You're welcome. The sweet sounds of Joseph being free. Nothing can ever sound better than that. Good night, sweet prince. Guess I'm an RTV guy now. Luckily it's Monday, so RTV fixes are considered Monday fixes, right? Everyone is in a hurry and we need to come up with a solution immediately. Now normally on a Tuesday I would probably just go and weld this thing on there. Create like a perfect seal. But not today. Today is Monday, so lame ass fixes. Get it done as fast as possible and go eat a bunch of donuts. The sucky thing is that I probably need to do this every time I use the dozer. Well, not this. Hopefully I don't have to take this apart anymore. But I have to heat up the steering clutch before it will start functioning properly. And that has been an issue with this dozer ever since I got it. From the get-go it just doesn't wanna lock. The more I use the dozer, the less the issue is. It's just kind of problematic if it sits for too long. Soviet machines don't want to sit around. They always want to work. Or break. Or break while working. I love those bolts. You can't turn it with this thing, it will just kind of keep going back and forth, but if you try to like turn it with your finger, you can barely turn the thing. Do you guys hate those bolts as well? I really hate those bolts. See, like completely loose. But you can't turn it with your finger, just barely. Türa, see ei võtnud vist sisse või?
What?
Stole my grease. I didn't see it anywhere. Now, if you're wondering about this, then now this is the only roller on the machine which has busted seals. So every other roller, you don't need to grease. They have their seals, they have their lifetime oil in them. No need to service those. But this thing it was empty. The seals are busted on it, so I just kind of filled the entire housing with grease. Sadly, you can't really service those rollers. They're packed for life. They don't have like a drain block. They only have a fill block. So if you want to replace the oil, you literally just need to take the roller off the machine, bore it out from the fill block, and then bore it in again from the fill block. They don't have a drain block. It's kind of sucky, but that's how they're built, I guess. Lifetime oil. So yeah, that's the story there if you didn't know. Let's clean the machine now. Man, look at that. Spring me up, Scotty. Stop, shit on my face. Yeah, pressure washing that wall of dirt is pointless. Just make a lot of mud. Not worth it. Sneaky fittings. being in the way, man! I bet this Joseph is very happy that I'm his owner. But he probably didn't like the surgery part too much. I mean, who likes going to the dentist, right? Nobody. You guys remember the small amount of trap water inside the clutch housing? Then maybe this will get rid of it. Hopefully. And if you ask me, Joseph really deserved that failure up. Dude, that gearbox was really dirty. Kinda regret not taking it to the spaceport though. Would have been a lot easier. I probably would have cleaned it a bit better as well. But you know, something tells me that we're not quite done cleaning Joseph yet. I mean, basically once we like roll out of here 5 meters, it already needs a bath. I hate cleaning tracked. I hate cleaning tracked machines. It's just hopeless. But you know, right now looks pretty okay. But anyway, at least in this video we had a positive outcome, right? Still not quite sure about the surgery part, but who knows, maybe that was a necessary part of the journey. All I know is that the thing is free now, and I might actually have a little job for it. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I might have like a little job for the guy. There's something I wanted to do before I even knew that the clutch was stuck. So that job has been kind of put on the sidelines for a while now, and now that the clutch is freed, we can probably do that job. However, that job is not really time sensitive at the moment. I can do it in the winter time as well. So I'm gonna go now, you know, clean my face up, maybe change the clothes and do the next stupid thing. What will it be? Hell if I know. I'm just gonna go over there. Bye bye.